Today we're going to be going over linear and quadratic systems. Now these are worth about 22 points on your average SAT, so a great concept to know. Our approach on these is going to be to identify linear and quadratic systems questions. We're going to break down the question. We're going to build a formula to solve them. And lastly, we're going to solve a practice question together. So these questions will give you a linear equation and a quadratic equation. Now they'll typically ask you to find the intersection point between the line and the quadratic. Now in terms of intersection point or intersection points, we really have three options here. We have option number 1, where they intersect one singular time. We have option number 2, where we have two distinct intersections. And then we have option number 3, where the line and the quadratic never intersect. So here's the formula we're going to use for these. We're going to identify our line and our quadratic. We're going to find the intersection or intersections, and for this, Desmos is really useful. And step number 3, we're going to apply these intersections to our question. It reads, if y equals negative x plus 6 and y equals x squared minus 5x plus 6 intersect, what is one possible value of x? Step number 1, we're going to identify our quadratic and our line. So this one is our line, and this one's the quadratic. So I'm going to start by setting them equal to each other over here on this right side. And now I'm going to transfer our terms to one side. And then lastly, I'm going to set out an x here. And I can see that my roots are x equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. And so x equals 4. And this tells me my two intersection points are x equals 0 and x equals 4. So that would mean one possible value could be 4 because they don't give us 0 as a possibility. Now, let's work this one on Desmos. So now we're here on Desmos. I can type in our first equation, y equals negative x plus 6. And then our second one, y equals x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, we can see our system is graphed here, and we can see it's the case where we have two distinct roots. So I can click on these roots to see our x values of 0 and 4 again, and this tells us our answer is 4. And so for this concept and a lot of quadratic concepts, Desmos is going to be your best friend, so definitely utilize it to its full extent.